Well, hello, and welcome to another lesson of the Graph CMS course. I'm Marcelo Lewin, the Headless creator, and you can always get a hold of me at, see if I can do this right, I always mess this up there, Marcelo at headlesscreator.com. You know, I've done so many of these and I still can't point to the right place. I'm going to have to put like a little thing here or something, I don't know. Anyway, feel free to send me an email, Marcelo at headlesscreator.com. Today I have a special guest presenter, Jonathan Steele. He's the developer relations engineer at Graph CMS. I'm going to bring him in just a minute, but he's going to show us how to integrate external systems. And today he's going to show us a little sample with Stripe and GraphCMS about how to integrate external systems in our content model using what they call remote fields and this content federation. So we'll get into that in just a minute. Before we do that, I do, of course, want to remind you all, before we get started on our on-demand version, which will be the nice clean version, which you guys can get later. But I do want to remind you to go to headlesscreator.com and you'll find all the courses there. Graph CMS and a whole bunch of others. Of course, I do the content modeling weekly, where you can learn all about content modeling. But this lesson will be available on the Graph CMS Focus on Graph CMS course right there, and you can see, you'll be able to see on all my courses upcoming live lessons right there. I'll be entering a lot more, but this course will be then will appear here under developers, because this is focused more on developers. It'll be available there as on demand, so make sure you register for free, log on, and then you'll be able to go ahead and get that. So that's that. And of course, like always, follow me. You've got down there below, you've got all of the social media channels. Make sure you follow me there. I really would appreciate it. So remember, this lesson itself will be available on demand probably before the end of the day today. And I say that just to be on the safe side, but usually I do it within the hour. But just to be on the safe side, by the end of the day today, it'll be available at the course. Just go to courses, go to Graph CMS, and it'll be available right there. So, all right, now that we got all that out of the way, we're going to restart this, because from this point on, it is going to be the nice, clean, on-demand version that you guys will be able to see. All this won't be there. All right, so here we go. Well, welcome to another lesson of the Graph CMS course. I'm Marcelo Lewin, the Headless creator. You can always get a hold of me right there, Marcelo at headlesscreator.com. I'm looking over there because that's where I see my monitor, right? But I'll look at you guys here to the camera. Feel free to send me an email if you have any questions on anything today or any of my courses. I always love to hear the feedback, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Today, my guest presenter is Jonathan Steele. He's a developer relations engineer at Graph CMS, and he's going to show us or talk about content federation and show us how to create a content model using code and add what they're calling remote fields that integrate with other systems. Specifically today, he's going to be integrating with Stripe. But you know, enough of that talk. Let me just bring on Jonathan here. And there he is. John.
Hey.
Hey there. Welcome. How are you?
I'm good, Marcelo. How are you?
Excellent. You are in Britain, right? Where specifically?
Yeah, I'm in Britain. I'm in Newcastle upon Tyne, famous for our beer.
I love Newcastle, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brown ale.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's actually more popular in the States than it is here.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was my go-to beer when I had a steak. Now I'm a vegetarian for the last 14 years, so I still have it, but I have to have the fake steak, you know, the fake veggie meat. Yeah. So anyway, so you're a developer relations engineer, right? At Graph CMS.
That's right. For about.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say I've been working at Graph CMS for about 18 months now.
Oh, wow. Congrats. So maybe give us a little bit of your background. Like, how did you, you know, how did you get into computers, programming, become a developer, all in about 3 minutes?
Sure, yeah. So the TLDR, I guess, would be I've always had a inkling to tinker with computers. That started out primarily in Photoshop designing. Started to then kind of bring those designs to life with HTML, CSS, and it kind of just evolved from there. This is back in like 2012 time, so not too long ago, but relatively speaking, that's a long time in the internet. So the world of development and front end engineering today looks a lot different than it did in 2012. So yeah, I started playing around JavaScript, jQuery, and that evolved into my first framework, which wasn't React, but it was Ember.js, which kind of had a similar mold to Rails, Ruby on Rails. And from there, I've kind of always had a penchant for developer tooling and developer kind of APIs and programs. So worked for a headless commerce API, which was based in Newcastle here, for about 3 years before joining GraphCMS.
And what got you into Headless?
I just like that with headless systems, you've got that the abstraction of data is taken away from you, and you're given the kind of blank slate to do as you please with that. So you're able to utilize like more services into a single application and use best in class developer tools to bring them together, which is what we're going to talk about today.
Yeah, totally. All right, I'm going to ask you one personal question. Favorite movie or TV show?
Favorite movie
or TV show in any streaming service, doesn't matter.
So my favorite movie, I'm not sure if it's on a streaming service. It's actually quite old, 1985, I believe. Goodfellas.
Oh, okay. Well, 1985 isn't that old, man. I graduated in 85, so don't make me that old, okay? No, I'm kidding. Yeah. It is old.
It's actually, it's like, it was released before I was born. So
that's almost 40 years old. I can't believe I graduated almost 40 years ago. That's just nuts. Anyway, we'll leave that aside. All right, I'm going to go ahead and share your screen here. And I'll let you get started. I'm going to go on mute. If anybody has questions, or if I have any questions, I'll jump in and ask you. But otherwise, go for it.
All right. Yeah, so today we're going to talk about content federation. And what that is it's a concept which we've kind of coined. It's the idea of bringing content together from multiple APIs into a single kind of graph API or a GraphQL schema. Now, this has been born from talking to customers about the problems they're facing when they're building kind of modern day applications. And a lot of the times we hear from customers saying they have data living siloed in service X, Y, and Z, and it's a real struggle to actually bring those APIs together and for that content to coexist in a single application. So with content federation, we're aiming to, GraphCMS is aiming to bring, alleviate those pains and actually offer a way to bring multiple services together into a single GraphQL API. We've actually started that process back in December when we released the kind of first version of what we're calling remote fields. And remote fields is the way to, it's a way for us to essentially define custom types and custom resolvers for